Chandhok, you're watching Overdrive. If you had tuned into the Bahrain Grand Prix a few weeks ago, you would have seen how Karun Chandhok, India's second Formula One driver, made a very difficult debut on the Formula One circuit. In fact, his team struggled to get his car ready and he had to do his first few laps in the car during qualifying. So, Sirish Chandran caught up with Karun Chandhok in a freewheeling conversation as Chandhok was en route to the Australian Grand Prix to find out what the season ahead looks like.
Karun, congratulations, the second driver to make it into Formula One from India. It's a dream come true for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Being in Bahrain, so many people came to see me, Indian guys, and it felt really good to be the only person from my country on the grid last weekend. You see all these superstars of Formula One, and to be there was relief in some ways. But yeah, very happy.
But your debut, no, that was obviously not how you would expect it to be.
No, it was. It wasn't really part of the plan. I think it was very tough. I knew it was going to be tough, but I expected to have a weekend like Bruno, where he did all 3 free practice sessions a little bit at least, and then got qualifying and and then did some mileage. So I didn't expect to be sitting on the sidelines all through the weekend, but I think that it was very tough, and I have to say it was. We created our own little bit of history, being the only driver to go straight into qualifying without a single lap in my new car. So the thing is, I earned the respect of the paddock this weekend. There were a lot of people from other teams, drivers, team managers, media. A lot of them came up and said, good job for what I did under the circumstances.
In qualifying, right, when you're sitting in the car and you're watching all the other cars go out, your car was still not ready. What was going through your head?
To be honest, I was actually quite calm through the whole weekend, and I think the team were quite surprised. They were expecting me shouting and screaming, and my engineer even came on the radio and said he's been doing motorsport for 20 years. He's never seen anyone so calm. But I'm not a shouter or screamer. It was difficult, because obviously, but I was just sitting there trying to learn this. There's 24 buttons on the steering wheel, and there's various sequences you need to do to even pull the car out of the pit box.
So what exactly happened in Bahrain? What caused the crash?
It was very simple. We just haven't done enough mileage. I did 4 laps. The first time we ran the car with 160 kilos on board. Obviously when you put so much weight, the car goes down, and it just hit a bump and spat me off the circuit. It was a new part of the circuit which I haven't raced on before. Bruno told me a little bit, okay, watch out here, watch out there. But at the end of the day, you're driving the best cars in the world, or the fastest cars in the world. And it all happens a lot quickly. So it just hit a bump, and after that I had no control. The front wheels were in the air and I was off track. It's just one of those things, and the team were actually quite apologetic about everything that happened the weekend. They understood it was, yes, in the end, I was the one driving the car, but they understood it's due to circumstances from the rest of the weekend.
But it's not an ideal situation to get into Formula One like this, especially for a debutant like yourself.
No, of course it's not ideal to go into it with a new team, but at the end of the day, you have to weigh your options. The best option, the other options were to be a test driver. I had 3 offers to be test drivers with teams, established teams, or to go do GP2 again for another year, or I could be sitting here as a Formula One driver. And of the 3, I know which sounds the best.
And how difficult has it been, this road to Formula One?
It's not a most accepted sport in India, in terms of racing sponsorship, and we've had to do a lot of sort of cut price deals with teams and not really the best options on various occasions. But, in the end, we were in a position, this winter, my dad and I were both quite confident that it could happen. We were talking to a lot of the teams as we talked about earlier, and I think in the end now it worked out okay. It was a bit last minute, but it worked out okay.
So from GP2 to Formula One, how much, what's the difference?
I think where the difference is, obviously you've got a bigger team, more engineers, more sort of infrastructure, and there's more people to talk to and to deal with, and more people you have to work with to improve. So that takes a little bit of getting used to. The power is not so different, to be honest, from GP2 to F1. The GP2 cars, 0 to 100k is as quick as an F1. Last year at Monaco, I did 2.05, 0 to 100, which is very quick. But the big difference is the downforce and obviously the electronics, the massive amount of electronics you have in Formula One.
So what does it take to become a Formula One driver? Obviously speed and talent, but apart from that, what? Intelligence, money, what? It's
so complex. I think the first thing is you have to have a good understanding of the sport. That's the main thing. You can't just think that if you win a few races in the national championship or a Formula BMW, you're going to be in Formula One. It doesn't work like that. You have to understand how complex and political and complicated the business is. And it is a business. You know, it's a sport for 3 hours every alternate weekend, but the rest of the time it is a business. And, you know, the main thing is you have to understand how it works and be realistic. And, you know, a lot of it has to do with setting your ego aside, understanding, you know, I've been fortunate to work with great driver coaches, great engineers, and, you know, I go into it with open minds. You know, I sit there and I go to my engineers' houses, I sit in their houses while, you know, while all their family and their kids are running around, I'm sitting there trying to get as much information out of them. And that's what you have to do, I think.
So when do you think the team will, you know, get on par with the other new teams, if they ever get there?
I think we have to be realistic. Melbourne's going to be tough. I think if we can get some reliability in Malaysia, we can be, you know, a little bit closer. I'd hope by Shanghai we can be within half a second of the best of the new teams. And then we'll see in Barcelona. We've got a decent update package coming for Barcelona, but so do other people. To be honest, we don't know what our potential of our car is. I mean, yeah, I didn't do enough mileage. You know, we know the numbers from the wind tunnel and the simulation and all the rest of it, but we have to do it on track. You know, the stopwatch never lies. So till we do that, we don't really know the potential of what we've got. So I'll reserve judgment till we go to Barcelona. I think the first 4 races, we have to accept we're testing in public. It's just what it is. But then we're going to have 15 races after that to create an impression.